Can I borrow your help for just 10 seconds? Now raise your hand up if you have ever wanted better school, smoother road, safer neighborhood, or more hospital. Now, great. Keep your hands raising up if you have ever, fill out your census form to maybe ask for it and who your own opinion on the form. Alright, it's interesting, right? So all of us want to have a better community, better society. Yes, of course it is obviously, but many of us forget one very first thing to get a better community, which is being counted. So today I will show you and talk about how and why being counted is just as powerful as voting your vote or casting in your vote. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dựng, and the reason why I presented you today is because I want to tell you about my own opinions as well as give out a discussion about the topic that why being counted is so important. Now, first of all, as usual, I will tell you a story. There is a girl named Emma. So Emma's community is not really good because as a school there are 60 students in just one classroom. The hospital is always busy and the buses rarely goes on time, arrive on time. And but her parents, Emma's parents, always go voting, because they believed in democracy, right? However, here's the problem. The problem is that Emma's community is not being counted. Very small portion of people fill out in a census form, and is leading as a result. The government didn't know how many people are there. The government just mislead and they think that there's just a small number of people located and settling in that village of Emma community. And it's turned out that it's much less than what it really was in reality. And therefore, the government also gives less funding for Emma community at what is really need. It gives less funding on school building, less hospital, community services, because the government assumed that the community, the village, the neighborhood of Emma doesn't have many people, so they don't need to fund more. They will save the money for other communities who have much people in needed. But in fact, Emma's neighborhood have much more than that, but because they are not being counted in a census form, they are being mostly invisible. So Emma family, Emma parents have the voice to maybe ask for the government, but because her community is mostly invisible, so the government will mislead the number, the amount of facility, and as well as the amount of help and support that Emma's neighborhood really need, right? So it's really to point number one that why being count is so powerful is that being count will determine where the resources go. Alright, so now let me take you an example. Imagine there are two towns, town A and town B. They all have the same amount of residents with 100,000 residents located in two towns. But the town A fill out a census. All of the people in town A fill out a census and let the government know how many, and the government know that town A had 100,000 people located in that town. But town B, even though have the same equally amount of residents, just only 80,000 people And the result is that Tile A gives an adequate number of facilities really need, and Tile B was given less, with less school, less infrastructure project, even though they have the same amount of people, because the census form and the population data is given out to the government is less than how the number of people located in reality. Therefore, the government will also mislead and thinking that, well, so this how Tile A have 100,000 people, but Tile B only have 80,000 people, and the government will give just adequate funding for each town due to the population data that is given out to the government. So we could see that the government here shows that will based on the census and population data to provide the necessary need for each community. Like it will give out the adequate school, build more school, hospital, playgrounds, and I think community services, public transport routes, or infrastructure projects to meet the need of each community. So they really need the population data of each community to estimate the respective amount of funding that they need to give out to help that community go up in a good manner. That is why that being counted is so important, because it will decide whether the funding will give to you adequately or inadequately. Just say that being counted is so important, because if you're voting, it is to ask for which leader will lead. But just being counted is like that who the decision are made for, right? Okay, so it's related to point number 2 here is that being counted is make the whole people in the whole community being visible to the community and the government. So voted, we know that only people are maybe from 16 to 18 years old up have the right to vote. But what about newborn babies? What about the elderly? What about the people who don't have the ability, don't have the rights to vote at that time? How would they show off their need? Because they also need to be visible to the government, because they also need, for example, babies or young children, they don't have the right to maybe cast their ballot in voting, but they may also need more school. They need the playgrounds. They need a safer neighborhood, have the security around it. So how could they tell that to the government? Through the census form, through being counted in the whole community. And when they being counted that, every individual in the whole society will feel that they are being heard, being supported from the government, and it will thoroughly build up a safer and as well as I think that humane and developed community society together, which make the whole society and nation in general, and as well as the whole world being more, I think, happier. Alright, so I think it's the end of my speech today, and throughout this speech and this video, I hope that you will get some valuable points about why being counted is just as powerful as cast your ballot in. As I say, there are 2 reasons, right? Firstly is that it will determine where the resources go, and secondly is will make every individual in the society being heard, and being visible to the government. And I think it's the end of my video today. I'm really glad that you are still here and listening to me till this time. It is really a pleasure for me, but I think it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, see you in the next video. Bye!